Team of Salvation, and today I'm going to show you a few tips and tricks that I use on how to melee so well and I guess so good, you know? Because obviously you guys are always curious on that, and I have a lot of people asking me how you do it, and so I'm going to show you a few things that I use to be able to do that, and I'm going to have Ricky, which is there, to help me make these examples. So first tip that I'm going to show you guys is pulldowns. Now, when it comes to pulldowns, it's really hard because you know, Ricky, you can obviously see my guns in my hand, right?
Yeah.
All right. So say you're running from over there, and obviously, you know, I'm not gonna be able to like get you and pull you down because you're gonna see me, right? Now, a tip that I like to use is moving your hand downwards. Now, sometimes you'll do that and you'll grab onto other areas like down there, but you don't have to worry about that too much because what you can do is you can either move it down to the left and you'll move down one hand, but don't do it all the way or else you might grab onto something else like that. But you can move downwards to the right, and as you can see, my gun is no longer in sight. So Ricky, it's a little harder for you to tell that I'm right here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's one thing you can do, and I've used this tactic against many people who are like level 90, and it works very well because they're used to seeing you a lot easier, and they're not gonna concentrate on that. So it's really easy, and then just get the pull down. Really simple. So that's one thing you guys can try. If this technique doesn't work for you guys, let me know because it always does for me. But alright, let's get on to tip number dos. Alright, tip number two, regular melee. This type of melee. This is a lot harder when it comes to you know, taking people out, but when it comes to getting them from behind, it can be a lot easier, but usually what you're gonna want to do is, especially when you have going up against people that are a lot more skilled in this game, you know, they'll roll away from it, they can easily dodge it. But when you get, you know, if you go up against like noobs or like people that aren't really good at the game like at all, like newbies, then it's okay to go for the three hit. But what you want to do when it's pros is you're gonna want to do this. You're gonna want to go ahead and get two hits and then roll away because about that time they're gonna realize it and roll away. So you're gonna want to roll away first from that and get the advantage. And then once they roll away, go ahead and get them again, in which will pretty much end them. So Ricky, once I hit you the second time, pretty much roll away to show that example. And then you can get that third hit. As long as you follow them and you can kind of correct yourself on where they're gonna go, then it works perfectly. You'll get it done, and it's simple, just like that. Step number three, or tip number three, is charge melee. This is the easiest way to melee people. It's obviously everyone's decision on when you're gonna melee. It's always charge melee. So basically what you're gonna do is if you don't have undisturbed, this is gonna be a lot harder to accomplish, but say if Ricky were to take his hook out and you're going ahead and you have someone who's going to melee as well, if you guys are charging at each other, usually what I've seen every single person do, it's never failed, they always go for the hit when you run into each other. So if you do have undisturbed, when you go towards them, go ahead and roll kind of early. Not too early, because then they'll notice and wait for you and hit you. But get kind of close. So Ricky, go ahead and try to hit me when I get close to you. So what you'll want to do is, you'll want to charge, roll kind of early, and then go ahead and get the hit. You want to, when I say roll kind of early, it's because if you do it either too early, they'll get you once you're done. If you do it too late, if they're smart, they'll be able to roll away by the time you go for that hit when your roll's done. Like, they'll already have that roll ready. So you want to do it, like, perfect, pretty much. On to the next. Alright, step number four is mysticals. Now, there's a lot of mysticals that you can use, and a lot that I use. One would be Indra's Eternity. The second one would be Spirit of the Jinn, like I have here. And the third one would be the Path of Indra, because you can teleport away from danger, or if you're about to die, or if there's too many and there's no way out, pretty much you just teleport out. That's what I've been using lately, but my main one that you guys know that I use a lot is Spirit of the Jinn with the Fire Punch. Now this is really, really a lot better, especially for melee, because it's the second most OP type. Now, when you do this, yeah, it's better to do this or activate this when there's two people, not just one, because you don't want to waste it. But say Ricky's running around, yeah. So if he's like running towards me or doing other things like that, I can go ahead and activate this. I'll punch him, but obviously you're not always gonna get the second punch, so you're gonna want to go ahead and roll away. But the reason I say you're not gonna be able to get the second punch is because this thing is not very accurate. You have to be right next to someone to get that hit, or else you're gonna miss. So what you'd want to do is you'd hit them, or you'd hit them, then teleport next to them again, and get that second hit. Because if you try to hit it twice and they're moving, you're definitely gonna miss. Unless they're standing still or in cover, then it's okay to go to the second hit. But if they're moving, you're not gonna get that second hit. It's almost impossible to get that second hit. Tip number 5 is rope swings. Now rope swings are a little harder because you know that if Ricky would be moving and I try and go for that rope swing, you're gonna miss. So there's actually a easier way to do this, and it's actually by doing it to the side. It's not easy. I might not have been accomplished it this first try, but what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to move to the side and kind of go into the direction that he's at. So you'll go to the side and swing the direction he's at. Now yes, Ricky was not really moving at that point, but what you want to do is just kind of circle it, like circularly get into that. Because if you go straight, it's a less of a chance you're gonna get it. But if they're moving to the right or to the left, say they're moving to the left, you're gonna want to swing to this way because you have an easier chance of hitting it. They're moving to the right, you're gonna want to swing to that way. Well, obviously I don't have a lot of space on this area, so I won't be able to get anyone if they're going to the right. But say if they're going to the left, like they're trying to run into this room here, swing like that, and more than likely you're gonna hit it. See, eventually you'll get it, but it's not the easiest thing. So keep in mind, these tips and tricks, they are tips, they are tricks, but they can take a while to master them. So don't get frustrated if you can't do them the first time, because they are a little hard when you first attempt them. But eventually, I can guarantee you, you'll eventually master them like I did. Cause trust me, like if you completely suck like at melee, like the absolute worst, I was just like that. All right, I didn't start off pro and professional. I completely sucked terribly. So do it long enough, and you'll pretty much be getting streaks like me. Okay, step number 6, more rope swing business. So when it comes to rope swings, if you know you're gonna miss, like I said before, and the time just ended, we will start another game and do this again. Hold on. Now, repeating step number 6. So when it comes to rope swings, if you know you're gonna miss, just go ahead and reattach yourself. Eventually you'll catch it. Step number 7. When you're trying to melee and people know it, a lot of times I've had this problem before too. People will stay on the ropes like what Ricky's doing right now. Obviously, sometimes they won't even try to rope swing you. They'll just try and troll you because they know you're just trying to melee them. But what I'll do, what my trick is, I'll just start shooting at them until they're really weak, and then eventually they'll just jump off because they're gonna think that you gave up, and then go ahead and go for either rope swing or whatever you want to go for after they get off. So it's really simple. Just make them think you're gonna kill them. You're really not. Then just go after them. It's just that simple. Like typically I wouldn't want to shoot at anyone at all. I wouldn't want to use my gun, but eventually they won't give you a choice, and you're just gonna have to scare them a little bit, and then you can go ahead and go for that. Step number 8 is hitting with objects. Now this is a little bit harder, but what I'll do is I'll hide behind things like this wall, and the second they come, just whack them. Now, the same thing can be done with charge melee, just with this, waiting behind the wall, the typical thing, just hit them with it. But that's something everyone knows. But when it comes to these things, people try to hit with this and they just don't know what to do. Just use the same tactics pretty much. So if Ricky was over there and he started coming over here, I'll show you what I'll do. It's the same thing. Just whack them like second they get over there. You want to do it a little early too, because usually some people will roll out of it, but a lot of people will freak out and not know what to do because they're like, what the heck? Especially if they don't see a charge melee in your hand, they won't freak out as much and roll. They'll just kind of like, oh, I gotta shoot this guy, because they don't see the charge melee. They just see you holding a tank. And if you're too close, obviously, they're gonna think you're just gonna try and throw it and shoot him. But a lot of people are smart and will be, okay, he's not gonna be able to throw it, like right next to me and shoot it automatically. So, but what he doesn't know is you can just smack him with it. So, easy like that. And usually, this is the only map that has an object. But if you do want to smack with this, just use that tactic, hide behind things, or if you're really good, you can run at this speed and still smack someone, then go ahead, do that. But if you can't and you just want an easy tactic, just go ahead and hide behind something. The second they get there, just smack them. Smack. Alright, step number 9, or tip number 9, is how to avoid a lot of gunfire. Now, a lot of people are really good at this game, so it's kind of hard to dodge gunfire. But technically, what you'd want to do is if you're getting shot at, you just kind of want to roll, jump over things, kind of trick them by going back, and it gets a little harder. Yeah, you'll get shot sometimes, but you want to be able to try and avoid as much as possible. Just keep jumping, keep rolling, go back and forth, just keep doing the same things, because they're not going to expect it. But if you know these guys are just too good and they know how to keep an aim on you, what you'll want to do is, if you have the Spirit of the Jinn activated like I do, or the Indra's Eternity, or the Path of Indra, teleport away. Indra's Eternity, either slow them down. If you're too weak, you're probably not going to be able to get the hit anyway, so just use them being slowed down to run. And what I'll do is, if you're too damaged, so Ricky, go ahead and shoot me twice. So if I'm 2 damage, I'll just activate it and run away as much as possible. I'll just roll, jump, roll, because by then it's fixed and you can, keep going. Eventually, after you're healed up, go ahead and come back. And like I said, use that same tactic and just roll from things. Yeah, simple as that. Now, the last tip here. It's really simple. It is the classes. So this one is named Melee Rampant mainly because this is the class I used to get my first Melee Rampant and the first one in the world too. So that's why that one's called that one. Now I would typically use these 4 here, and they're all the same, and the only difference is mainly the mysticals. Obviously, as you can tell. One would be Indra's Eternity with the slowdown increased by 20%. The Melee Rampant one is the Spirit of the Jinn with the Fire Punch, as you guys know best. Now the 3, I don't typically use this one that much unless I'm really looking for clips, like I really need them and I'm running out of time, and this is the class I'll use. Will be the Staff, be the Staff AR Manco with the highlight targets, and that's obviously a lot easier to use. And then the Path of Indra, which you can do that. And to teleport, I would use teleport to a safe position, because if you really need to get out of there and you trying to go on a melee streak, you won't probably have the time to be able to find a teammate that's somewhere else and then take the time to teleport. So quick escape would be a lot easier, because you can just go ahead and click it really fast and you'll just teleport to any safe position. You won't it's not gonna be like Smoke Bomb in Uncharted 3 where it'll teleport you and then sometimes you'll be like just right next to the enemy and it totally just messes up. This literally takes you to a place where there's no enemies. So this is something good to use if you're really trying to go on a streak and just don't want to die. But anyways, guys, that is all of my 10 tips and tricks that I have for you guys. If there's anything you guys think that I missed or anything else you guys want to be clarified on, just let me know, and then I'll talk to you personally if there's anything else that you want answers on. But anyways, guys, thank you guys for watching, and I hope this was good info because I know I'm not the best tips and tricks giver, but I hope this helped you guys in some way. So I will talk to you guys in the next one.